Beto, there's a lot of shoes here. How do we pick which shoe we're going to walk in, we're going to run in, or how does that all look? I mean, I'm a little bit confused sometimes when I walk in. So
That's true. A lot of people get confused because they don't understand that thing. We have put some names on it so you can see how we're gonna divide divisions of different foot styles and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So when they come in and ask that question, like you just tell me, then I'll say, this is how we're gonna work. There's the different categories in here. There's the shoes with support right behind me. There's the shoes there with lots of cushion in here. There's the shoes with the last cushion in here. And then the categories, they go forever. Changes. Right. There's racing flats, right? Mm-hmm. And there's minimal, less. And so from there, we ask the customer, like you just come in, I'm getting confused about this. Well, let's find out how your foot shape is first. We do a foot analysis, and then we'll check that stuff. And then from there, we can guide you where you're gonna belong to it.
Cool. So what we're going to see is actually a foot analysis. You doing a foot analysis on Don, one of the United Cycle employees.
That's correct.
That. And he's got a couple of issues. So what exactly is you're pointing out in that foot analysis and everything else?
Right. I saw in his foot that in the left foot, he was dropping more compared to the right foot. Like the arch, when he landed, it was more flatter than the upper. And I also saw him limping a little bit while he walking. He's supporting, compensating using the right leg more than the left leg. So I knew there was something going on in there. And so that's what I pointed about how his left foot is down low. And that creates problems when we ask the people, how is your lower back? Mm-hmm. And they go, my lower back is good. And then you go like, really? Well, it's sore after, when I run or after work, but it's not belong to this. Well, normally if you think about it, your arches are developed this way. And when you got it, and this one goes lower, what would happen in your hips? So it should go low, as opposed to stay in balance, all complete and strong. So the weakness develops in here, and it goes all the way down.
Right. So a lot of times you're saying many of the issues that we're seeing in lower back pain and sort of like hip issues or knee issues, a lot of that can be kind of rooted in imbalances in how you take one step or how you take multiple steps, and then you can kind of identify that according to how that looks like on a mat or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when you get the model, you always think about it. You look at it straight, and then you go, okay, so this is what happened here. So what do we need to do in this case? Like Dawn, you look at it and you go, one side is dropping, the other one's not. So most places go, well, you need a stability shoe. And so a shoe that's got support has been injected on the side of the arches and to support it as you're working out. But the weakness is not going to go away. That's going to only happen when you're running, right? So it becomes like what they need to do. Do they need to do exercise? Do they need to do this? So we're looking at all these things. But as a customer, it's just selling shoes in here for us. It's like, where are we going to put him to make the best, right? Mm-hmm. So the shoes are not corrected. None of them. They just help you while doing your exercise to make you an enjoyable, right? Run or walk, right? Because if you know your body, my body, when you land in, it's 2 times your body weight, and when you run in, sometimes 3 times your body weight. So let's take that in perspective, right?
Right, for sure. So the shoes, I mean, it's always that fine interrelationship between your physiotherapist or your orthotics person, and then yourself, and then training and all these other type of things that lead to sort of the correction.
That's correct.
But these shoes themselves, they're not like the magic pill of running, right? Like it's not like you wear the shoe and then automatically it's gonna make you feel better. It's gonna correct all the imbalances and everything else like that, right? So I mean, when people do walk in, like let's say a fresh person walks in and they're thinking about running their first 5K. What will you first ask them, I guess, in terms of like their activity levels and everything else before the gait analysis?
That's correct. All of the staff here, all of us, and I make sure they're all asking that question. Like, are you just a beginner right now? You're just gonna start running right now, fresh? Or are you gonna be running in cement on the streets? Or are you gonna be running on trails? Where are you located to? So we can find out exactly what kind of sole we're gonna put first. And to start locating, okay, you're gonna be running trails all the time. You just a step out of your house, you're on a trail. Well, then we give you something more grippy, more protective to the ground, to the chips and whatever's in the trails. If you're gonna be half and half, then we think about shoes gonna be wearable. And then sometimes you have to buy 2 shoes, basically. One for what you're gonna be running on trails, and another one where it's gonna give you a little bit the it's street and you can still run on trails, flat trails, nothing climbing or anything like that.
Right.
So
Cool, perfect. And then, so after you've kind of determined all of the terrain that the person's planning on running,
Right.
then we do that gait analysis, right? So we determine in between one of the three different, I guess, structural styles of the shoe, whether or not they need support, a little less support, or minimalist. And then how would you do that then?
That's correct. Well, as you know right now, most of the people already search and Google what do they think they can be on it, but they have never seen what actually do when they're walking or running. Mm-hmm. And so we'd say, have you ever done a foot analysis? Have you ever everybody look at your foot? No, they always go like, no. So, well, let's do it. And at least I can tell, like in this case, the analysis that we did and done, I look at it and I go, well, here's some support. If it's a beginner guy, then I'll say, you know what, we're gonna put it in stabilizer shoe. Something's gonna stabilize your foot. Something's gonna have a big support in here. So when you're landing, you don't make that pronation complete. So you wanted to enjoy your runs. You don't wanna be sore after that. This shoe is not corrective. It's just help you during your exercise. Right. So what it's done, it's just gonna put you in a neutral position. So you enjoy your run. But the pronation is gonna help? No. The orthotic is gonna help you? No. Because otherwise you're gonna have to hurt 24/7 in order to do a correction in your bone structure. Otherwise, it doesn't happen.
For sure, right. So beginner shoes, always sort of thinking a little bit more stability, a little bit more support, and then after that we start grading out into like a little less support, right? Sort of like that mid-stability shoe, and then you have your racing flats and stuff too, right? So would you ever recommend that anyone like race in stability shoes if they have like really bad ankles or if they have like really bad pronation, let's say?
Well, that's when everything changed, right? How are we going to recommend somebody what to wear and what not in race case? Mm-hmm. So a beginner guy would like to just commit to build the 5 kilometers on it, basically. So why do we making change? Let's have it enjoy with something that he trains already, something that's going to make very comfortable for him to go into the race and it's not going to be worried about anything else. Let's make it happen first, right? Once that happen, he'll going to come back. He says, the shoes were great, but now I want to increase my speed. I want to get faster times. Then we can talk about that part in there.
So basically get them hooked on running. And then after that we start, talking about speed and everything. Because everyone wants to improve like a 5K or whatever run they're looking at, right? Everyone wants to improve that. And I mean, the technology nowadays has gone so far off the mark that if you're, even shoes itself or like any type of performance clothing then changes and that can modify how fast someone runs or how efficiently someone runs.
That's right. So now talking about efficiency, running, we talk to the people when it's new. Right? They don't know what to gonna wear. So now we decide stability for this person. But we wanted to give them the two choices of them. Do they want to get rid of that pronation? Can they fix it? Yes, can they? They should be able to do it. Mm-hmm. So a barefoot exercise, a lower profile shoe that's gonna make him land, not depending on this big cushion.
Right.
Because once you get the shoe, it's gonna help you so you land as hard as you can. Because now it's not going to hurt you. Mm-hmm. But if they wanted to change that, they want to change the run style, they want to get better on it. So you want to put on a less cushioning and something really, really neutral with a flat platform. Right. So when they land, they're not going to land hard. They're going to light. And that helps everything on your joints and everything on it because now you're going to utilize your own body as a cushioning system. Yeah. And that's when it's going to happen.
For sure.
Right?
So I mean, like the biggest difference between, let's say, 15 years ago and now in terms of like how people are running and how people are told to run is that like we're now allowing the foot to kind of do what the foot should be doing.
That's correct.
It's essentially like it's responsible for propulsive motion forward, it's responsible for taking that torque, it's responsible for absorbing a lot of that pressure on the ground that you're then sort of like coming off. You're mentioning 2 to 3 times the amount of body weight, right? Like whenever you're running and moving. So now the foot is naturally taking that and doing what the foot should have done, ages and eons ago, but we're now just bringing it back into like more of a normal phase, right? So
that's correct. In the past, we always hear that. Like people will come and naturally 75% of the population of the world pronates. Everybody does. Naturally, because you're going to put weight on it, but that's what your arch is designed for, to bring you back and up and moving forward. Like that's what the design is for. But putting these people in all this stability all the time, they're going to be okay for just doing that exercise, but they're never going to get rid of that big problem, right? So the new style is when the people coming in and get the minimal and everything on it. That's when I don't hear any more problems. That becomes to I'm getting stronger, I'm getting faster. Now I can feel, I can sit down for a longer time as well too. That helps.